What does this sweatsuit featuring Tommy Smith and John Carlos, these equality shoes, and Black Lives Matter socks have to do with Kim Mulkey and Caitlin Clark? Well, stay tuned, and I'm going to explain it to you right now. So I know a lot of you have been seeing me as a result of the Caitlin Clark and Kim Mulkey videos that I have posted recently. One of the things that I thought about after somebody made a comment about Paige Beckers, obviously a UConn fan, calling her the GOAT. Love Paige Beckers. She's not the GOAT. And I mean, I have Paige Beckers' shirt right here. Obviously, Angel Reese is phenomenal. Clearly, I love Caitlin Clark. And I have a Juju Watkins jersey. So that's not really what I want to talk about. But at the ESPYs a couple years ago, if you didn't see this live or a clip of it since, Paige Beckers used her platform in a way that I really haven't seen a white woman do since maybe Sue Bird and the women of the WNBA in 2020. And so then I thought about Kim Mulkey. And so before I go into that, let me share with you something that I did in 2020. Besides pivoting my Sports Daily podcast to talk about the intersections between race and sports, mental health, leadership, equality, social injustice, and white privilege, I donated all my clothes, with the exception of maybe, 15 to 20 articles of clothing, to the homeless. Because I realized that they needed it more than I did. I wasn't coaching college basketball anymore. And then I thought about Lance Armstrong. Now, say what you want about Lance Armstrong, but that $1 gold Livestrong bracelet literally changed a whole generation in terms of fundraising for cancer. It transcended the Tour de France and Lance Armstrong. A $1 bracelet that we used to wear 25 years ago, that we could get for $1, that said Livestrong on it, led to other things: shorts, shirts, hoodies that were primarily gold and black. And so now, donating to the homeless, thinking about Paige Beckers, thinking about Kim Mulkey. And so if you take all those things to try and bring this home, Kim Mulkey wears some cool clothes. I mean, there's a lot of bling going on there. But what I started to do, and I'm by no means trying to tell anyone else what to do. I'm just trying to share with you what I thought about and what I started to do 4 years ago to try and amplify marginalized communities, to use my platform, which is very small. I don't get paid anything for my podcast that I've been doing now going into its 5th season. But a light went on after the murder of George Floyd. And so I made a commitment to do everything I could to listen, learn, whether I was going to make money or not, to be a better ally, to be more anti-racist. And so, can you imagine if Kim Mulkey used her platform to do something similar to what I've been doing since 2020? Every single day since 2020, the murder of George Floyd, once I started getting things sent to me, I don't think I've had anything. Yes, that's not true. I've had a couple of things sent to me from the WBL, the original W, the Women's Basketball League, and you can see the little mini ball that Elizabeth Galloway McQuitter sent me to educate people about the original W, the WBL. So I've had a few things sent to me, but my point is that I started wearing clothes like this. Now, this is a whole sweatsuit that I got on a Melanin company website. I think I saw it on IG a long time ago, and I purchased a shirt, and then the shirt led to this. Now, this is a hoodie about the 1968 Olympics. I've had 2 people from the 1968 Olympics on my podcast. This was a silent protest. Their words, not mine. It was pre-planned, and it was about social injustice and police brutality back in 1968 at the Mexico Olympics. Tommy Smith and John Carlos were on stage as Americans, and that's a whole nother story. But I have had Lou Scott and Mel Pender, two of the members of that track and field team, on my Sports Daily podcast. Now, every single day since then, every day, even when I've gone to a wedding, my games, I have worn something that has to do with equality, anti-bullying, these incredible women's jerseys, amplifying the WNBA, United States track and field, Major League Baseball, calling out Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Tony Romo, Troy Aikman, the white quarterbacks, for not being better allies, and in particular not kneeling with Colin, because if they had kneeled with Colin, he would still be in the league. And anything to do with any of these types of things, anti-bullying, equality, mental health. And so again, I'll bring it home with this. Can you imagine if Kim Mulkey, who would probably be the perfect person for this, wore t-shirts even though she disagreed with how Brittany Griner's situation was handled? Forget that one. There's so many other things that she could be amplifying and using her platform to promote. Can you imagine if she wore a LGBTQIA plus shirt or jacket that represented that community, or something to do with anti-bullying or whatever? I mean, you guys could probably put in the comments things that I'm not even thinking about right now, because I'm trying to do this in one take, and hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. But this is a challenge to all the coaches out there, and we've already seen a shift since the pandemic. You don't need to wear suits anymore. I understand that you want to match as coaching staffs, but I think that coaches can do more and use their platforms because of how much they're on television, during pre- and post-game interviews, in social media posts that often go viral just from video from your practices, because that's a huge part of promoting your programs now on social media, is to show the personal side of the players and what happens during practices. Anyways, it's just a thought. I've not really talked about it much because I don't like to talk too much about myself, but I just think, going back to Paige Beckers, and I thank the person who made that comment, because I thought about Lance Armstrong, despite his mistakes, what he did to raise hundreds of millions of dollars for cancer research because of a bracelet, and what college coaches in particular and professional coaches could do if they wore a Tommy Smith and a John Carlos hoodie. This is a challenge to not only all the coaches out there, but anyone that has a platform. Now go do the right thing. Much love. Peace.